Man, 2024 has been a fascinating year for gaming. Power World exploded onto the scene, making Pokemon very, very unhappy. Black Ops 6 and Indie on Game Pass suddenly made the Xbox not look like utter trash. And damn, we got the world's first quadruple A game! The irony of Ubisoft releasing a game about sinking ships. But those are the headlines that we all saw. I am Ash Dixon, and allow me to share some of the weirdest, strangest, most unhinged gaming stories of 2024 that you may have missed. And first up, we gotta talk about the Pokemon leaks, and sure, it was explosive at the time. Initially, everyone was excited to learn about any upcoming Pokemon projects, before we quickly realized that the main highlight was that one of the Game Freak employees was taking the company name a bit too close to heart. Bro is out here literally getting paid to write weird Pokemon smut. You could smell the envy emitting from fanfic Tumblr. But that whole thing was actually worse than a whole lot of people realized. You may have seen the Typhlosion story where some woman was kidnapped and impregnated by a Typhlosion. You may have seen the Slacking story about a woman fainting in the woods only to discover that, that's right, you guessed it, she was impregnated by a Slacking. But there was also a third story that a lot of people just missed. And this time, the roles were reversed. Well, the male was still the perpetrator, but you know what I mean. You see, the third story is about a dude who finds a female octillery washed up on the beach, and he throws it back into the sea. But obviously he f***ed it first. But don't worry, apparently the octillery was tentacle with it and came back for more. So yeah, thanks Nintendo, you really could have warned us about that one. But no, instead they put out an official tweet this year warning people not to let their dogs piss on their Joy-Cons. Thanks Nintendo, I thought the urine might help lubricate the Joy-Con drift. But maybe it's a good thing Valve didn't issue a similar warning, and look what happened to this guy's Steam Deck. Of course, this year Nintendo was very busy not releasing the Switch 2, and instead busy releasing a silly alarm clock, because who doesn't want to spend $100 to wake up! Wake up! So while 2024 wasn't great for Nintendo, it was for Mario. Super Mario 64, that is. In fact, this year was insane for the speedrunning community. A Canadian dude called Green Squeegee became the first person to hold the world record for the main 5 speedrunning categories. We did a whole video on it, but basically, he's the speedrunning GOAT now. You might as well just go give up if you want to do that. But it doesn't stop there. For the first time in the game's history, someone beat it without ever pressing the A button, and it only took them a measly 86 hours. All while this door, this dark and mysterious door, was thought locked forever. For 28 years it had remained closed. That was until Alex Palix 1 wielded a penguin, executed a sick backflip, and did the impossible, providing no real practical use to anyone. Speaking of crazy records, gotta shout out the old school RuneScape players this year. One dude, Mordor, spent an entire week collecting 100,000 feathers by punching chickens to death. Can you easily buy feathers for cheap from shops? Yes, but Mordor likes his feathers, and I quote, covered in blood. And on the topic of things that are dead, I would just like to take a moment to remember all of those that we lost this year. But where there is death, there's also new life. This channel was born this year, so please do give us a like and subscribe, because we're a teeny tiny channel and we're so damn close to 3K subs. Plus, it's been an exciting year for esports. The GeoGuessr World Cup was legit my highlight. Shout out to when the literal location of the event dropped and neither of the semi-finalists got the right location. Meanwhile, Big Dairy sponsored a Fortnite tournament exclusively for women, then called it the Milk Cup, and apparently no one addressed the fact that we all knew exactly what they were doing. Speaking of esports, a study revealed that League players on average have the highest IQs, while second from the bottom, as you'd expect, was Call of Duty, which explains why a real American police department produced this recruitment ad and thought it was a good idea. Meanwhile, over in France, someone got annoyed playing Call of Duty, so went to Twitter to start beef with some French billionaire, challenging him to a 1v1 outside Lidl, only for the rich dude to actually show up. It all kind of foreshadowed a different 1v1 that would happen 1 month later. Streamers had their own highlights this year. IShowSpeed attempted a backflip, streamer Perry Carrial beat Shadow of the Erdtree using her goddamn mind. Meanwhile, an OG Elden Ring boss got defeated by by a goldfish. Oh, and we got to experience Bernie Sanders chatting to a VTuber Catboy on Twitch. And last but not least, let's not forget about the Chicago rat hole, an animal-shaped dent in the pavement that became a beautiful shrine adorned with Pokemon cards, Baldur's Gate 3 references, and an actual wedding. Oh, and turns out it was actually a squirrel hole the whole time. And that is it from me. Damn, 2024 was a hell of a year. Let us know your gaming highlights down in the comments. Don't say it was the GTA 6 reveal. That was back in 2023, you silly goose. That's right, time flies fast and we're all getting old. Happy New Year!